Loving the ones that love us is really easy, but loving the ones that hate us is where the challenge lies. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hi, and welcome back to Oak Lore Duir. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Claire Attio. For those that are returning subscribers, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so today's topic is loving those that hate us. As I said in the title, loving people that actually love us back is really easy. The challenge of the spiritual path is holding a space of love for those that putting the daggers in your back, that 10 of swords that are causing betrayal, that are lying about you, that are all sorts of things that don't like you just because of who you are, the fact you breathe. There's no actual reason. You've never done anything to them, but they are in such a place of pain themselves that they project that onto others. And that takes us back to a video I did on hurt people hurt people. So if you've not watched that, then go back and have a look at that. It was interesting when this came onto my spectrum, when Spirit gave me this, because I was automatically given a visual, a memory of when my daughter was little. Now my daughter's a grown woman now, but she was little, and when she was at nursery, there was a little boy that was bullying all the children. And there was massive problems, and all the mums were complaining, all the mums were outraged, all the children were frightened of him, and so he was getting excluded. Now, I'd always, rightly or wrongly, I think it's rightly, for me it was right, for my daughter it was right. We all have our own opinions. I'd always taught my daughter, walk away once, walk away twice, floor them the third time. And I always remember the situation because she'd obviously taken that to heart. So she had walked away from this little boy once, she had walked away from this little boy twice, and on the third time she floored him. Now, I'm not advocating violence. I mean, we were talking young children here, so there was no actual real dynamics going on in the sense of violence. But what transpired from that was she had set a very firm boundary with him. She had clearly said in a physical way, don't mess with me. But what she also did, and what I also taught her, was we have no grudges, we hold no grudges. So even though she floored him, she actually offered her hand out and she helped him up. And from that point, they became really good friends. And it's from that point and then becoming friends and him feeling that he had somebody, he started to open up, and his bullying came from a place of what he was actually experiencing and wasn't able to express within his family life. And this is where the hurt people comes into play. And this is what we need to really take on board, rather than becoming the victim, rather than putting up with somebody else's BS, rather than allowing people to walk all over us or having that sensation, I'm not going to let them walk all over me, is to just step back, take a breath and go, okay, what's going on here? What's the energetic dynamics? Because what we don't want to do, and what we can often create when we do nothing, is when we do nothing, but in our minds, I should say, when we do nothing, but in our minds, we have all these negative thoughts about that person. We are creating an energetic ping pong. We are creating that negativity. We are adding to that negativity. And For those of you that are on your spiritual journey, you will know humanity is still in a place that competition exists still. And there are a lot of hurt people out there. And there's a lot of projection still going on because we're not at a level of emotional intelligence that we can actually deal with that. And so if you're on the spiritual journey, you will have experienced negativity being sent your way. You will have had many experiences, and I'm not going to get hung up on what they are, but you will have had them, and you would have to have dealt with them. And sometimes we need to floor those people. Sometimes walking away isn't enough. Sometimes that in their minds means that you're giving them permission to do this to you. And so energetically, you need to floor them. But what I want to convey and to get across is, okay, you may need to do that. You may need to put that firm boundary in place, but also reach the hand out. Doesn't mean that you have to physically reach the hand out. It doesn't mean that you physically have to get in contact with that person and become their best buddy. But on an energetic level, on a thought creation level, is to send them love. Love will transmute the negativity. There are occasions when you do need to show somebody, back off, leave me alone. You give them back their projections. But then you don't take it to the head and go, they did this to me, they did that to me, they're a terrible person. We don't get into that judgment. What we actually do is go, okay, hurt people. They project. They're feeling so uncomfortable, they have to put that on somebody else. And so the way to stop the ping pong of the energetics that's going on and the creation, let's not forget it's a creation. We're creating this whole of humanity until we get to a level is still creating to this day negativity. It's our job, for those of us on the spiritual journey, to show the love the hate, infuse the hate with love, transmute it, transcend it. And it is hard. It is difficult. The ego will automatically kick in because we're still in our learning. We're still in our infancy with all of these theoretical aspects, these concepts. And so I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I have it 100% sussed. I don't. And I'm not expecting you to have it 100% sussed. What I am asking and what I ask of myself is that when we find ourselves in a difficult situation where negativity is being thrown our way, whether that is verbally, whether that is energetically, hopefully it's not physically, but when it's coming our way, is to step back, put boundaries in place, but not judge, not think negatively, not go into victim mode or I'll show them mode. Let's just infuse the situation with love. Now, sometimes that love has to be a tough love. As I said, I use the principle of, I taught it to my daughter, so I use it myself. Step away once, you step away twice, you floor them the third time. And what that flooring looks like will be different for everyone. Sometimes that flooring is walk away, cut off contact, cut them out of your life. But you don't do it from a place of anger. You don't do it from a place of judgment. You don't do it from a place of, you do it from a place of love. You're setting that boundary. That's the only way at that moment that you know how to deal with that situation, but you do it with love. And sometimes that walking away may not have been the right thing. You may find in hindsight that wasn't the right thing, or you may still believe it is the right thing. And it's all going to change, and it's allowing yourselves to embrace that change, embrace the change that's occurring with you as you keep evolving, as you keep ascending. Some of the decisions you make with hindsight, you will think, that wasn't my best decision. The problem with hindsight is we didn't have that knowledge then. So we did the very best then that we could. And that's all we can ask of ourselves. Sending love to the people that hate us will have the most monumental effect on humanity, on our ascension process, on our evolution. It's not easy, but it is doable. And you will fluctuate. Each day you will be different depending on where your energy levels are. There is a lot of, and I did a video on that earlier this week, wishy-washy, happy-clappy spirituality. We all live in love and light. The biggest lessons of living in that love and light are the hardest lessons. We can all be wishy-washy, lovey-dovey, happy-clappy with the people that we know love us and support us and champion us and are part of our circles and part of our soul tribe. It's much more difficult to send that love and to hold that love for people that you know that are energetically sticking knives in your back. Your natural instinct is to fight back. And sometimes you will need to fight back energetically. Sometimes you will need to floor them energetically because they're not listening to the boundary of walking away, not getting involved. They're ignoring those warning signs, those boundaries that you're setting. They are still stepping over the line. And so sometimes energetically, you will have to floor them. But you do it with love. You don't do it with anger. You don't do it in revenge or with a vengeful heart. You do it with love. And you keep sending that love so that it will help them move through their pain. It will help them. See, you don't have any control, don't have any expectations. That is another massive thing that we as humans do, is have expectations. Oh, well, I help them with this and I help them with that and I help them with the other, and then they still throw it all back in my face. That is something that anybody of my generation, we grew up with, because that was very much our parents' mentality, the generation of our parents' mentality. The love wasn't unconditional. What we are wanting to achieve is to break those patterns and give unconditional love. But you first have to give it to yourself. You first have to be honest about what's going on. And yeah, there are times when you're going to think about somebody. Those are the times when you catch yourself doing that. You take a breath and go, okay, I'm sorry. Can we please delete that? Because those thoughts are creating energies. So take the responsibility when you do fall into that, when you do fall into an old habit, when you are in your human body rather than your spiritual body, just say, please delete that. And be mindful about the inner speech. Be mindful about what you're thinking. Take responsibility for your thoughts. Your thoughts create things. Negative, positive, it doesn't distinguish. And so it's our responsibility. This is where mindfulness comes in. Think about the people in your life, the ones that you give love to freely, and actually assess how many of those people that you give love freely to love you back, and how many that you give love freely to are adversaries, are haters, and try and balance that out. And I guarantee you will be rewarded. And you don't do it for the reward, but that is just a secondary energetic beauty that comes in. You gain peace. You gain peace by being able to give love to those that, for all intents and purposes, don't deserve it. We all deserve it. We're all connected. That person that doesn't deserve it is actually part of you. Energetically, we are connected. If they're in pain, you're in pain. If they heal, you heal. If you heal, they heal. It's like a domino effect. It's not about the egoic state of mind. They did this to me, I have to get them back. It's about understanding that what we do to each other, physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, has a ripple effect. It's that domino effect, good or bad. And so let's stay in the higher vibrations of love. Let's stay in those higher vibrations of joy. Let's stay in those higher vibrations and heal each other. If you've liked this video, please press the like button. If you have not yet become a subscriber, then please do so. Until the next time, blessings to you all.